The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Africa is a place that anybody at all can just get up and do whatever. Today we don't know our narrative. People are the ones who have written whatever that pleases them to us, and this is what we go by. According to AU, Africa isn't represented well on the world map. Africa is projected to be a very small continent, like of the same size with China, Europe, America, Greenland. But in actual sense, Africa is far bigger than what it is on the map. According to the mercator map, Africa is small. He was the one who decided to draw this in 1569 to please himself. He was the same person who invented the atlas. He is from Belgium. So he told the narrative so that the African will rise up knowing that we are small, because when we are taught the right thing, that the continent is huge, we will walk with pride in order to fight for the continent. But Africa is bigger than how we are projected. There are people who are rising to question the map, and people are demanding that the right thing must be done. African Union is also joining this to demand that Africa is represented well on the map.
Notice a difference between these two maps. The size of Africa differs. Criticism of this widely used map on the right, the 16th century Mercator map, is not new.
It's the world's longest misinformation and disinformation campaign.
It might seem to be just a map, but in reality, it is not.
But the debate has been revived thanks to the Correct the Map campaign, which on Thursday was backed by the African Union. The campaign, led by advocacy groups Africa No Filter and Speak Up Africa, is urging organizations to adopt the 2018 Equal Earth projection, which tries to reflect the country's true sizes.
There are alternatives to the Mercator projection.
Farah Njai, the co-founder of Speak Up Africa, says the Mercator map affects Africans' identity and pride.
African Union supports this campaign and sees that this campaign, through various actions aimed at promoting this really accurate mapping and addressing historical inaccuracies. So being closely aligned with the AU broader goals of reclaiming Africa's rightful place on the global stage, challenging false narrative and promoting a more accurate and equitable representation of the continent, this campaign really aligns with several actions that are directly or indirectly linked to the campaign but supports its broader objective.
This is called the Mercator projection, which is widely used and shapes our understanding of maps. Now, this is courtesy the Gerard Mercator, a Flemish cartographer from modern-day Belgium, who invented it in 1569. He is the same man who also coined the word atlas. It started as a tool for sailors, but over time it became the map that we use in schools, books, and online. This map has now become the standard, but Africa is not happy with it. Several advocacy groups want the world to adopt a new map, and the African Union is now backing this demand. Why? Because this map makes Africa look much smaller than it really is. Now, African leaders want the world to switch to a fairer map. They say the projection distorts continent sizes, enlarging areas near the poles like North America and Greenland, while shrinking Africa and South America. Take a look at Greenland on this map, and now look at Africa. They look almost the same size. Not just Greenland, but even the United States, China, and the whole of Europe all appear about the size of Africa. But here is an alarming fact. In reality, Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland. It is so big that you could fit the USA, China, and most of Europe together into Africa's landmass, and there would still be some room to spare. Africa is the second largest continent. It covers about 20% of the Earth's land. It has 54 recognized sovereign states, and its population is over 1.4 billion people. Now, criticism of the Mercator map has been brewing for a while, but it has now been revived by the Correct the Map campaign, led by advocacy groups Africa No Filter and Speak Up Africa.
Africa is bigger than China and America. When you put all these nations into Africa, we will still be left with space. But in order for this thing to suit the narrative of the oppressor, they decided to do it in a way that we will see ourselves to be small. We should not expect that people will sit somewhere to tell the narrative the way it's supposed to be, or the way it is, because this is a battle, and we have to rise up and fight for our rightful place in this world. The person who is suppressing you can never give you the right narrative. They are making themselves bigger. So the world today see Africa as a very tiny continent. This is the wrong thing we all have in our offices. This is what we have been taught. And this is what we are still teaching our children. In our homes, the African narrative has been changed. Even what we are told concerning ourselves. The African do not know the truth about him or herself, because we are not given the chance to tell the narrative the way it is. The books that contains the truth about us have been hidden from us. We are the only ones in this world that truly do not know who we are, our identity, our culture, our everything. And until we are able to identify who we are, we can never know where we are going to. Those are the things that the African need to channel his or her energy towards. Enough of the time of playing, singing, and dancing. We are at war, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said. We are at war, and we really need to rise up and fight for ourselves. Enough of all the wrong narratives that we have been fed with. Nobody will rise up and fight for us if we don't fight for ourselves. The time is now. This is a new generation, and this generation must fight for a better Africa for the generations to come. We really need to rise up, correct everything, and teach our children the right things. These people are fighting us day in, day out, and we really need to wake up. We can't get the freedom on a silver platter, so we have to wake up and fight for total liberation for ourselves and generations to come. If this generation isn't able to do it, I wonder when. We must do it. We must fight. We cannot continue to be dying like cows. Others are sacrificial lambs to please them. Our duty is to overcome that. And we can only do that when we are emancipated. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.